Okay, so before I took a shower, some Jehovah's Witnesses came up, so I stepped outside to talk to them. I'm not fucking rude. I don't just like shoo them away. And I'm polite, right? I don't shit on people for their beliefs and their religion and all of that. And I actually enjoy talking to people about it because I can expand people's perception on God. So they were doing their whole spiel trying to like give me this pamphlet, and I was like, no thank you, your resources are better, like, use somewhere else. I already believe in God. I have talked to God all the time. And this woman's like, okay, well, do you have a Bible? I was like, yes, I have many. I haven't read them in a while. It's been a good minute, right? But I talk to God all the time, right? And she was trying to say that, well, we can talk to God all the time, but the Bible is a way of God talking to us. And I was like, no, I don't believe that. I believe God talks to us all the time. We just don't slow down and really perceive the messages, right? God talks to us all the time. God act like guardian angels. God really talks to us through like guardian angels too, and they work on God's behalf. But technicalities. And I wasn't rude about it, saying like, no, I don't believe in that. I know I can come off rude sometimes, but I believe what the fuck I believe. I've experienced it. I got it, okay? I got it. I don't just regurgitate information. I actually figure it the fuck out and experience and have the experience, right? So I told her, I've read the Bible and it didn't make me feel closer to God, right? I actually went to a lot of churches when I was younger, but that didn't make me feel closer to God either. And what made me feel closer to God was actually science, studying science. And I was telling these two older women, I fell in love and I have massive respect for God because of science, right? Because everything, even at the core foundation of life, is so intelligent. Quantum physics, the observer effect, the energy behind everything is fucking brilliant. But I didn't get into the energy behind things because I talk to people in a way that they will understand it. And these two Jehovah's Witnesses probably wouldn't understand like the energy behind things. So I told them that that's how I personally came to love and respect God, is through science. And I believe that God talks to us all the time. And they're older black ladies, so I would ask them if they had children because they're women, and a woman's intuition, that's something that they could immediately like click on and have that feeling. I was like, I know like as mothers we've experienced this because, children, we get the intuition, and I just explained it like a feeling. We get that feeling that we should move, or we look at our child at like the right moment. We get a feeling and then save them from danger, either themselves or something in the environment, we snatch them. And I was like, what was that feeling? What is that feeling? Do you not believe that God gave you that feeling to save your child at the right moment? And I was like, if you've ever been in dangerous situations, and I was like, I hope you haven't, but if you have, because I have a lot, and I know the feeling so well. I was like, you get a feeling, and then you move at the perfect time, right? You get a feeling, like maybe you have experiences, you have a feeling like you shouldn't do something, and then you do it, and then something fucking fucked up happens, something, and you're like, oh, I knew I shouldn't have done that. Like, oh, I knew. And it's big things and small things. You get this feeling all the time. That's your intuition, right? That's your intuition. But your intuition is a feeling because God, hate to break it to you, God doesn't have a mouth. God is not human form. God is not going to slide up beside you, and which spirits can take on human form, right? But the communication is not through a mouth and vocal cords. Okay? Because you can communicate to loved ones who have passed on. Like, just, you can't see them anymore. Some people can't. Right? And you can talk to God. You can talk to angels. I do all the time. But that feeling is one way that God and your guardian angels talks to you and communicates with you. Right? People think communication is just the mouth and vocal cords. It's not. Communication runs deeper than your mouth, okay? So how would you communicate with someone if you didn't have a mouth? I know we have sign language, but if you didn't have hands, how would you communicate? If you didn't have a body, how would you communicate? There's something called thought transmission. Jesus. And it's in my book because I want people to know that it exists, first of all, but also see the deeper meaning behind this world, behind the physical world. There's always energy behind it, okay? Everything physical has energy to it, all right? And yes, God does talk to you. You just haven't slowed down to receive the communication. And that's why I talk about presence. I talk about being in the now moment. I talk about not having any thoughts, stopping your fucking thinking. Because when you stop thinking, you stop sending signals out, you can receive thoughts. You can receive the communication. You can receive the answers and the guidance that you are searching for. You don't need to search anywhere. The Bible has a lot of great information, and it's great. It is. It's just like I connect with the wisdom in there, but I feel closer to God having that close communication. I communicate with God all the time, and God communicates back with me. My angels communicate back with me. My ancestors communicate back with me. People that have passed on communicate with me even when I don't want to. And when I'm like clearly trying to ignore their presence, okay? My stepbrother, who passed away from a heroin addiction, actually communicates with me because he's wanted to apologize and all of that. And we got past that, you know? But it was so hard for me to ignore it, okay? But I have worked with energy and the energy behind things. Mainly because of God, because I wanted to know the language of God. And the language of God is energy, frequency, vibration, consciousness, willpower. I have deep love and respect for God because the creator of all things is intelligent consciousness, not just some man on the moon fucking figure that you pray to and hope, have faith that your prayers will be answered. It doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. Hoping something will happen, wishing something will happen, having faith that something will happen. I know in the Bible it says faith will move mountains, but, and it does. But that is different from absolute knowing. Absolute, hands down, facts. You fucking know this shit. Knowing. That is where it's at. That is... And you absolutely know because you communicate with God and God communicates with you. You absolutely know. You don't have stress, worry, doubt, none of that, because you know, you absolutely know. You don't wish things will fucking work out. You know they do. And I see this a lot with Black women because they say, like, you know, have faith. And I knew God would come through, that type of stuff. And it's over small things usually. And God always provides. But that is knowing God provides. That is, I knew God would come through. They say it differently than I do, but yes, I love older Black women. I do. They're sweet. And I love their no bullshit, you know? I've always loved them. The women that came to my house today were older Black women. And they were sweet, so obviously I gave them I gave them the time of day, right? And I'm sure that they were happy with the conversation, because the lady was like, well, thank you for being honest, you know? When I told her, no, like, I don't want your pamphlet, like, please go hand it to someone else. I already believe there's someone out there who actually needs that, who it will give them hope, right? And when you are in darkness and cannot see the way out, hope is what keeps you going, right? Knowing, yes, is different from hoping and wishing and wanting. But when you have nothing and hope is all you got, that's enough. That's enough. And God communicates to those who feel like they are lost. Like I said, we just haven't A lot of people don't know the language of God. They can't interpret God's communication, but God does talk to you. I don't need to have faith in God. I know God. So communicate with God. Communicate. And know, believe that you do receive answers. Try to not think so you can send less signal out so you can receive more signal in, okay? Tell your thoughts, I don't know, I don't care. Not important. Let it pass by. And you can receive a lot of information and a lot of guidance and a lot of wisdom. Ask and you shall receive. Yes, so thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I hope you do communicate. I want you to communicate with God. It's the greatest, I don't want to say friendship, relationship that you'll ever have. And life is so much easier with God as your friend. Not like a friend, but you know, you know what I mean. Partner. I don't know why partner in crime just popped in my mind. No, let's not go there. Yes. But yes, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Have a blessed day. Have a great day. It's fucking wonderful. The world is so fucking wonderful. See it. You perceive it. There's great things all around. Whenever I was talking to the ladies, I made them fucking like, I don't care who's talking to me. I don't care if God himself was in human form beside me. There was a hummingbird that was like close by us. I was like, look at the hummingbird, you know? I don't care if God himself is standing right next to me. We're looking at that hummingbird, you know? Yeah. So we had to get back to the conversation once the hummingbird left. Yes. Have a great day.